In the chill expanse of the Arctic, where ghostly icebergs drift in near-silent currents and the light of the sun struggles to penetrate an endless white haze, two gentle giants reside in the realm of ice and sea. One is the polar bear, the undisputed apex predator of the frozen north, solitary, powerful, and cunning, armed with claws capable of ripping through flesh and a bite strong enough to crush bone. The other is the beluga whale, a friendly-looking, pale-skinned cetacean that moves in pods beneath the shifting ice, emitting curious clicks and whistles as it navigates the frigid depths. Though these two creatures share the same polar environment, their paths rarely intersect in direct conflict. Yet, in the harsh realm of the Arctic, hunger and circumstance can align in a brutal, sudden dance of survival. When the polar bear and the beluga whale do meet, it is often in the most perilous way, one seeking its next meal, the other struggling to remain beyond its reach. The polar bear, or Ursus maritimus, is the largest land carnivore on Earth, with adult males weighing between 900 to 1.500 pounds. Though some exceptional individuals exceed that range, built to endure the unforgiving conditions of the Arctic, polar bears possess a thick layer of blubber beneath dense fur, serving both as insulation against the cold and as natural armor against bites and impacts. Their forelimbs end in enormous paws equipped with 3-inch claws, sharply curved and designed for both traction on slippery ice and for slashing through the flesh of seals and other prey. A polar bear's bite force, estimated at around 1.200 pounds per square inch (psi), can crush skulls and splinter bones. Despite their size, polar bears are surprisingly swift, able to sprint at speeds of up to 25 miles per hour in short bursts on land. And they are formidable swimmers, using their powerful forepaws like paddles to navigate icy waters. Typically, the polar bear's hunting strategy revolves around ambushing seals at breathing holes in the ice, waiting patiently for hours, even days, to strike with a single, lethal blow. But polar bears are opportunistic feeders. If the chance arises, they will target any available prey, including walruses, birds, and even whales. Beluga whales, or Delphinapterus lucas, although not common prey, can become a target if circumstances place them too close to the bear's lethal reach. In stark contrast, the beluga whale is a gentle soul of the Arctic seas, unmistakable for its pure white coloration, bulbous forehead, and friendly smile. Adults typically range from 1.100 to 1.600 pounds, though large males can weigh up to 3.500 pounds and measure around 13 to 20 feet in length. Known as canaries of the sea for their wide range of vocalizations, clicks, whistles, and chirps, belugas are highly social animals, often traveling in pods that work together for protection and feeding. Their blubber is thick, shielding them from the extreme cold, and their flexible necks allow them to turn their heads in all directions, an unusual trait among whales. Though belugas can dive to impressive depths of over 2.000 feet, they return to the surface frequently to breathe. It is during these moments at breathing holes in the ice, or in shallow estuaries, that they risk a deadly encounter with a hungry polar bear. Imagine a jagged ice floe drifting on an overcast day, the ice shimmering in a spectrum of blues and whites under the weak Arctic sun. A pod of belugas glides just beneath the surface, their gentle eyes scanning the environment as they navigate cracks in the ice. Their echolocation clicks echo through the water, helping them detect openings to breathe. Unseen on the floe, a polar bear waits, fur matted with slush, breath steaming in the cold air. Days have passed since its last meal. Its black nose, crusted with ice, picks up the faint scent of prey in the water. It lowers its head to the surface, nostrils flaring, ears pinned forward, entire body coiled in tense anticipation. Below the ice, a young beluga surfaces at a gap. Its blowhole breaches the frigid air, exhaling a plume of steam. At that instant, the polar bear lunges, enormous paws, claws outstretched, smash into the water with explosive force, aiming to hook the whale's slippery hide. If the bear's claw finds purchase, it can drag the beluga partially onto the ice, using its immense strength to prevent the whale from wriggling back into the sea. Blood, steaming against the cold, streaks the ice as the whale thrashes, tail slapping the water and creating a chaos of foam. Pods of belugas, known for their social bonds, might circle or flee in alarmed clicks. But little can be done to save an individual trapped in the polar bear's relentless grasp. However, the beluga isn't without a means to fight back. Though lacking the formidable teeth or aggression of an orca, a beluga's thick layer of blubber can absorb some damage, and its strong tail can deliver powerful blows. Its wriggling body might slip from the bear's claws if the polar bear doesn't secure a firm grip or land a decisive bite. If the beluga manages to pull free, darting into deeper water, the polar bear is left empty-pawed, roaring in frustration at the hole. Yet, if the bear's lethal jaws clamp down on the beluga's head or throat, blood will swirl into the icy water, and the whale's thrashing will subside as the polar bear's brute strength seals its fate. There are accounts, rare but real, of polar bears scavenging on trapped or stranded belugas. Sometimes, climate and tides create pockets of open water surrounded by ice, where whales become trapped, unable to break through the ice. In these desperate circumstances, polar bears take advantage of easy kills. Yet, in active pursuit in open water, with a beluga able to dive and swim away, heavily favors the whale's speed and maneuverability. The polar bear, though a competent swimmer, lacks the streamlined efficiency of a marine mammal. In a chase, the beluga would have the edge, diving below the surface where the bear can't follow. Thus, the outcome of a polar bear versus a beluga whale often depends on the environment and the element of surprise. On land or near the ice's edge, the polar bear's crushing power is near unstoppable if it can pin a whale at the surface. In open water, the beluga's agility and ability to dive to great depths makes it nearly impervious to the bear's attempts to attack. If caught at the ice, a beluga's struggles may not be enough to break free, especially if the polar bear has the advantage of leverage, hooking the whale's body onto the floe. Conversely, a well-timed thrash or a slip of the beluga's slick skin might let it vanish beneath the ice, leaving the bear with only traces of blood in the water. This rare scenario highlights how each species has evolved to dominate its respective niche. The polar bear roams the ice floes, relying on stealth and raw force to ambush prey that surfaces for air, while the beluga whale's domain is the vast ocean, aided by speed, intelligence, and strong social bonds. In the brutal extremes of the Arctic, life is defined by adaptation and opportunism. A polar bear's lethal arsenal may bring down the gentle beluga if chance and ice conspire against the whale. But in open water, the tables turn quickly. In the end, the polar bear versus beluga whale confrontation is a vivid example of nature's unceasing test of survival, where even the calm, smiling visage of the beluga whale can be met with the bone-crushing might of an apex predator seeking its next meal. There are no certainties in this savage theater of ice and water. Only fleeting opportunities seized by those best equipped to act.